Welcome back, all of you string picking guys and gals out there, to the String Pickers channel here in my little obscene studio. Hope that this video finds you well. Today's topic: no locking tuners, no problem. There are a million different ways to restring a guitar. Everyone kind of knows that if you have locking tuners on your guitar, it's by far the fastest, easiest way to restring a guitar. However, if you don't have locking tuners on the guitar, like my good old buddy Draco here, then you don't have to worry about it taking so long. There is an easy way to restring instruments that's fast and effective and will do pretty good. It's been a long time since this one has had a string change. And also, about 2 videos back, you guys seen how we Scotch-Brighted the neck. Well, I've never Scotch-Brighted this neck. This is my drop C guitar. I play this one every now and then I'll put it up and I won't play it for a month or so, and then I'll play it again, and every single time I'm thinking about the same thing. This needs took care of. So today I'm going to go through 2 things, well actually more than that, but we're going to clean this thing up. I'm going to put a brand new set of strings on it. I want to show you how I do that in the quickest way possible. And we're going to Scotch-Brite this neck so that my hand will move up and down it a lot easier. This is an LTD EC50. This is like the lower end of the Eclipse series. You can get these pretty much anywhere for $100 used, maybe a little bit more depending. But when I bought it, I didn't really buy it, I traded it. So what I did with it was I got one of those guitar skins from Amazon that had a dragon on it, and that's what I did. I stripped it all apart, I put the guitar skin on it, even put one of the dragon's horns up here that was cut off back here, and it is a beautiful guitar now, and this guitar plays exceptionally well. These ESP pickups are the bomb. I love these. They're great for lower tuning, really tight, and just I've never had the desire to change these pickups. They sound so good, I just leave them in there. So we're going to go to the bench and we're going to put this thing up there, shine it up. Another thing, look at that belly carve. Oh yeah, we're going to go to the bench and I'm going to show you how to do a string change on a guitar without locking tuners that is going to be fast and effective, because not every guitar needs locking tuners. I usually replace tuners on a guitar when the tuners that are on it don't hold tune very well. They're shaky, rattly. These are ESP branded tuners. They've always done well to keep this guitar in tune. They've always been kind of tight, and I've always liked the feel of these tuners, so I just left them alone. I did think about putting locking tuners on this at one point, but you know what? I'm glad I didn't, because now I get to show you guys, especially if you're a beginner out there, how to change the strings on your guitar without it taking up a whole lot of your time, because that is the main thing. People get so frustrated changing the strings on the guitar. And then we're going to go through and we're going to Scotch-Brite the back of this guitar too, and we're going to wipe it down, clean it up a little bit, and that way the next time I use it, it'll be a little bit more presentable for a video. So the first thing that we're going to take care of is we are going to go ahead and Scotch-Brite this neck. Now first, what we need to do is clean all the gunk off of it, and that way when we Scotch-Brite it, it's going to turn out really good. And what we're going to do is we're going to tape it off right up to this loop right here where it has ESP. Okay, so let's start taping. Down here, I am probably not going to come up here to the heel joint. This is a set neck, and where it sets right into the neck, I am not going to go right there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to follow the contour right around here, and then we're going to come back to the side and get this bottom side here and get this top side here, but we're going to leave this part right here alone because when I play this guitar, my hand hardly ever gets up that far. By the time it gets right here to this transition, it's up here on this transition. So that's not a very big deal for me as far as having that smoothed out. And I think that it will look better if I just go ahead and tape that off. So we're going to tear the tape right there, take it just a little bit of tape right here and run back here to, there we go. Just move that over just a little bit right there. Okay, and then right here, if you can tell, right here in the neck pocket, we're going to tape off right there and come down. And that way this gets sanded here, but this right here doesn't get touched. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this off right here, right up to this corner. This guitar has been needing this for a super long time. I've just never really gotten around to it. Like I said, I normally just play my drop C stuff on this instrument, and it does really well. I'm really pleased with how this thing sounds. Very nice instrument. I've always loved this guitar. My son got it, and it was this horrible, icky, just absolutely disgusting black and silver metallic color. And I didn't like it, and I know he didn't like it. So uh, that he one day he said he was thinking about selling it. I had played through it, and it sounded absolutely amazing. And that's when I hit him up. I said, "Man, I hate for you to let that guitar go because that is such a good playing instrument. I just don't, I hate for you to try and sell that." And he was like, "Well, you know, what have you got?" And I ended up trading for it, and I have loved it ever since. This thing is, like I said, it's a workhorse. I absolutely love it. When I get in the mood to play some of that angry music, as my niece calls it, she calls rock or heavy metal angry music. Both of my nieces do. When I get in the mood to play that, this is usually the one that I grab. Okay, so we went through this in a couple of videos back, but I am going to tell you again in case any of you seeing this video didn't watch that other video. If you're a newcomer to the channel, by the way, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and that way you can get content like this all the time. You're going to need a Scotch-Brite pad. This is a medium grit. I bought a stack of them, everything from coarse to super fine. This is a medium grit. Medium grit will work just fine. Now, what you need to do is soak it. I prefer warm water because I've used this more than once, and it's got still a little bit of the stuff on from the last couple of guitars that I've done. But that warm water kind of melts that stuff off of there. And the reason why I get it wet is to keep the dust down, because I don't want to have to breathe this stuff in. So that's why I get it a little wet, and I wring it out real good, and I pat it dry on a paper towel, make sure there ain't a whole lot in it. Sometimes I don't always do that correctly and end up with a lot of water on the neck, but just make sure that you dry that water off, especially if it gets to your strings. You don't want it to dry on your strings, which myself, I'm not really worried about that because getting the string change. So you're going to go up and down the neck like this. Make sure not to push against the edge of the tape. Make sure that you pull away from the edge of the tape. Doesn't require a whole lot of pressure. Most people will tape off the edge of their fretboard. I do not, because if it's glossy, then it's going to wind up catching my hands when they're sweaty. And I just don't care much about that. Okay, now we've went back and forth across it probably 45 seconds to a minute. If you can tell, there's still a little bit of shine right here. Still just a little bit of shine right here. I've dried it off with a paper towel, so we're just going to go right back over that section again. Make sure that we get all of that shine out, because we do not want anything grabbing our hands when we're playing. And what you have there, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very nice and smooth guitar neck. You just make sure that you get all of it off of there. It's just like running your hand up and down just silk. I said in the last video, and I'll say it in this one too, you are not trying to get rid of the layer of poly that's on the back of the neck. That is not the sole purpose. The reason why you want to do this. The sole purpose of doing this is so that you can scratch that poly up, put a satiny finish, so to speak, on it, so your hand will move up and down it really well without getting caught when you're sweating or anything like that, because it will do it. So let me bring you guys in so you can see. And there you go. This is where I handled it with my hand. That's a little shiny right there, the oils from my hand. But once I clean that off, that just completely disappears. And then you can see the transition line where we taped off right here. You can see it on the side right there, going all the way up the neck. We went around the glute right here because I didn't want to get up onto that. And then comes to the line on the other side. Once you run your fingers down that, you can tell once you get to that poly, it just tries to grab your finger, but it's just silky smooth right here. Okay, today's string choice is going to be Diodario XL nickel wound. These are 9 to 46s. The top string is just a little bit bigger than what you get on a regular set of 9s, which is 42 on the top string. Also, we have went through and conditioned the neck because it's not had it in forever. The frets still look real good though. You generally try to clean it off and everything between string changes. But the neck was in pretty good shape. I think next time around I'll probably end up doing a thorough cleaning and taking care of all that. Okay, the first thing you want to do, and I recommend this, is turn your tuning pegs so that all the holes are facing up and down the neck. It only takes a second to do, and this is how I do it. You just get your string winder, and now all the holes in my tuning pegs are facing up and down the neck like this. So this is what I do. I put the string through just like this right here. It's in its slot. I've got to pull it tight, make sure it's on back here. I reach right here at the nut and pull back to the first fret. Once I get it to there, I bend the string straight up, and then I can start winding the tuner. And to do that, all we got to do is hold the string down. None of that crazy string locking mechanism that everybody says it works and all that stuff. Because what's going to happen when you tighten this string up, those wounds are going to come right up against this string in that hole and it's going to lock it in place. You get your 2 to 3 winds, clip off the top. That's all you got to do. That's absolutely every bit of what you got to do per string. So we'll run through that again. We're going to go to the second string. We're going to go up here, run it through the hole. Okay, we've got the string through the nut slot. We've got it set right in its saddle back here on the bridge. We've got it pulled tight. Pick it up at the nut, pull it back to the first fret, bend up. You want that bend to have a pretty good angle on it. Then once you get that done, all you got to do is place a finger on it, just like this right here, and then start winding. Now I know that a lot of you out there are probably intermediate players that watch this and already know how to do this. This video is really catered toward the beginning guitarist because I have run into several people that I have worked on guitars for that just simply don't change their strings. Or I'll get a guitar and guess what? It's got that string locking thing where they put it through and then they come around and they wrap it around. You ain't got to do all that mess. As soon as you tighten this up, those wounds under where the string comes through are going to push up against it and lock it in place. It's simple and easy. I've tried it every which way I can think of to do. This is simply the fastest. I just don't understand why people have to make things complicated. I just don't understand that why. Pull it through, pull it back to the first fret right here. All right, and it's on the first fret. Bend it up. Once it is bent up, we're just going to do the same thing again. We're just going to wind it. Make sure you keep it pressed down against the headstock so it can swing around. And there you go. That's how you want to do it. All you got to give it is 1 fret of slack. Once you give it that 1 fret of slack, it's going to be enough to wind around that tuning peg 2 to 3 times. That's all you need to do on these guitars. Well, string pickers, that's it. Got a new set of Diodarios on there. I did mic up the amp and played through that. Sorry if that sounds just a little bit muddy. I'm still trying to work with this Mackie mic. It does exceptionally well, but I'm trying to find the best position for it. I've got my SM57 on the upper right-hand corner, and I was trying something with the upper left-hand corner here. So if it comes through just a little bit muddy, that's probably why. But yeah, for the most part, it sounds good, plays good. It's got really, really low action with no string buzz whatsoever. I'm really liking that part of it. And plus, The back of the neck is silky smooth. I can play this all day long without my hand getting stuck to that neck. So yeah, if you guys are changing strings and you don't have locking tuners, and we all know that locking tuners make string changes a whole lot faster. I love locking tuners, I do. But if I have a good set of tuners like these that are tight and they don't drop tuning, then I just assume to keep these on a guitar. I don't mind these, especially changing the strings the way I showed you. I did the last 3 strings off camera. It took a total of 7 minutes, and that was winding it, putting them in there, wind them up, clipping the top off. Now, of course, after that, I had to tune and then stretch the strings, like I usually do. But that was 15, 20 minutes ago, something like that. And then I plugged right into the headrush, straight into the carbon, mic'd it up, and you guys heard the rest. This guitar is a workhorse. I'm just going to tell you, it's a straight up workhorse. When I play drop C stuff, this is the one that I go to more than anything. I just love this guitar. Really good action and everything. This one's going to be around for a long time. However, at some point, I may end up taking this top off and putting another guitar skin on there. Not really sure. Don't know what to do about that yet. But until then, I like it just like it is. It looks like a dragon. Guys, that's all that I have for you on this episode of String Pickers here at Obscene Studios. I do so thank you very much for stopping by, watching the video. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that other stuff. I would really like to see you come back. I love the people in the comment section, especially those that ask questions or fill me in on something that I didn't know about. And there's a lot of that, I'm telling you. As always, I pray that you and yours are having the best day ever. And I pray that God is with you all. Until next time, later.